Well, happy November, everybody. I'm Tim Rutherford, Technical Director here from Rand Industries, and today I thought we would talk just a bit about load sensors, right? What are load sensors? Load sensors are a lot of sensors that are on the motor. It could be anything from, a TPS to an idle air control to an oxygen sensor to the two sensors that I'm going to be talking about right now, and that's the two that I want to focus on is the mass airflow sensor and a manifold absolute pressure sensors, and how they affect the transmission. Because a lot of the calls I get to the technical department are, hey, this transmission is not working right, and I think it's this inside the transmission, but sometimes it's not that. It's actually outside the transmission, and it's a load sensor. So their focus is on transmission, and what I want to do is just open your eyes up to the fact that there could be some other things playing into this. So what I want to do is kind of focus on these two sensors today, and I promise you'll never look at these tiny little heroes the same way again. So let's start with the mass airflow sensor. This guy is like the air traffic control for your engine. Its job is basically to measure the volume of air that's rushing into the engine so that the PCM, which is the brains of your car, can keep that air-fuel mixture just right. Now here's the cool part. The PCM doesn't stop at just fuel adjustment. It uses the mass airflow data to basically handle line pressure control for the transmission, shift scheduling for your transmission, and of course your torque converter clutch operation, which is basically the TCC duty cycle management. And if you're looking at the sensors, the voltage on the sensors, maybe using a diagnostic scan tool, the mass airflow basically sensor speaks in voltages, right? So it works a lot of times in between a half a volt up to 5 volts to be exact. Some cars are different, but most of them work this way. If the sensor is dirty or faulty, you might notice harsh or delayed shifts. So if your transmission feels like it's throwing a tantrum and it's not working quite the way you think it should be, give the mass airflow sensor a second look. And finally, we're looking at the manifold absolute pressure sensor, known as the MAP. This sensor, with its front row seat to your engine's intake manifold vacuum pressure, this one measures air pressure to gauge the engine load and sends that information off to the PCM. When the pressure is low, like during idling, the voltage is low. Under a heavy load, like when you're pulling out, the pressure will rise, it'll get high, and the voltage will climb a lot of times up to 4 to 4.8 volts. The PCM uses this data for shift timing and line pressure control. So if the MAP sensor is off, you'll notice things like erratic shifts or insufficient line pressure from the transmission. So there you have it, the mass airflow sensor and the MAP sensor. These two little marbles work timelessly together to ensure that your engine and your transmission are in sync and working like they should be. If your car isn't shifting quite right, these sensors might be the key to solving that puzzle. I hope this was informative, and I will catch you next month on the next one.